join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Bert, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
We will not hold hands and pray this. Please bow. Our Father, our Creator, we just thank you for the beginning of a fall season, a new day for each one of us. And Lord, we don't know the future, but we know above all that you are in control. And we thank you, Lord, for groups like Rotary International, where we're not in control, but we can help the world. We can help the world heal. And please give us the nudges, the wisdoms, the inspiration, so that we may be of service for others. Let us pause for about 10 seconds and reflect on someone or some situation in your lives who have been so touched. Thank you, God, for loving us, for protecting us, and for protecting our loved ones. Grant us wisdom and truth. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
What is it?
Okay, now, find a place to sit if you can. If you want to stand, that's fine. Just spread out, please. There's... Okay, everybody.
35 is the average.
So, thanks everybody. I know this is going to be a little different in various ways. Obviously, we'll see how people feel comfort-wise. Some people aren't here because they aren't comfortable in coming into the space being this full of people at this time. We are going to be recording the meeting today, or we are recording it now, I hope, and we will be uploading it to YouTube, and Jonathan will explain that in a minute. So first, I would like to introduce guests. I don't see any visiting Rotarians. Oh yeah, there's one. I'll just do it myself. Our very own past district governor, Mr. Bob Deering. That's Sometimes I forget his first name. But anyway, it's nice to have you back, Bob. It's always great to have you with us. He's a good friend of ours.
It's Sir.
Sir?
Yeah. Forget his first name, it's Sir.
Okay, sir. Anyway. And Brian, would you like to introduce for the last time, but sort of
For the last time as a guest, this was the first time for a guest, we have first Sue Frost, who will give us her today, and her husband Jack Frost. And there's all sorts of jokes that go with that one.
which we will not bother with today.
You probably never heard
Never again would be too often. I think that's everybody that's new stuff. So moving on to announcements. First of all, I apologize. When we started meeting outside, I took the gadget off here that the thing here gets hooked onto this. I took it off because we didn't need it, and I just realized this morning that I never put it back on. So next week it'll be here where it's supposed to be. Anyway, so in the way of announcements, we have a variety. So let's start with Jonathan. He has some great news for us. Actually, a couple of announcements. One regarding the recording of the meeting, and the other is something that happened last night. So come on up here where we can see you in the camera.
So as you guys have noticed, we've been kind of trying out how to record the meetings and post them for people that would like to watch them remotely. So we do have a YouTube channel now, and we're not going to be streaming just because we're worried about connection issues and dropping. So we're just going to record them and post them later. So every Friday I'll be sending out an email, similar to how Mary sends out a weekly email with a newsletter showing a link to the YouTube channel. You don't have to have a profile or anything like that to access the video, but I'll have instructions on how to do that. And if you do decide to watch it remotely, then please let Phyllis know that, because it does count as a makeup. Next thing, so the Orangeville Honorary Mayor race came to an end, and as you guys know, Sean and myself are both candidates, and total, all four candidates were able to raise just over $30,000. All four candidates had different charities, organizations they were benefiting. And yours truly, unfortunately, didn't win, but I did come in second place and was able to raise just over $9,000.
For what organization?
I was raising money for the charitable fund. So Sean was also running, and he did run for the food bank and was able to raise just over $1,000 directly to the food bank. So the honorary mayor race was, I think, a really great example of how many different organizations and businesses and people are in this community, and how we can come together and support one another and kind of spread the love, so to speak. And I was able to connect with so many different people and organizations that I normally wouldn't have if I didn't run for honorary mayor. And so I really am optimistic going forward, having future fundraisers with Rotary in mind, and partnering up with these different organizations and people and businesses. So I really look forward to that going forward. So that's it.
Congratulations.
Let's give him an extra round of applause. I told him if you do that well, then he probably deserves a pen.
Oh.
You know what? Why don't you come up and I'll give you one. We don't have our photographer this morning.
I'll take a picture.
Will you take a picture,
I'll
please?
take a
Do you know how to do that with your camera?
I think I can.
So, here, I want to be sure that we're in the picture. Okay, are you ready?
I have to apologize. I thought you meant a rotary pen.
He's not a professional, it'll take him a little time.
He's not wearing a pin, he wanted to avoid the fines.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, that way, okay, yeah.
Okay. So the next is about, I don't want to give you the long version of this, but getting back here has been a journey. And what's happened now is basically what you see today is pretty much what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable future. We will be meeting here 7 o'clock like we are. We'll be uploading for the folks that want, that again still don't feel comfortable coming in here as a group yet. And what we're going to be doing though is having this kind of a breakfast, because if we're here on Friday mornings, because the restaurant is staying open later, and that would mean that the cooks would have to come in way earlier and work and end up being overtime. And anyway, Eileen and her brother didn't want those poor guys to have to work crazy hours just so that we could be here early. So that's why we're going to do this kind of a breakfast for a while. Now eventually, as things get better, and we will get back to our regular breakfast, but God only knows when that'll be. And hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, it's not going to get back and everything will go horrible and they'll start shutting down restaurants again. Then we'll be back to Zoom meetings and that sort of thing. So just keep your fingers crossed and hope that we can do this. I know we all much prefer being here. We had options of maybe going to the Grange, but that would have to be a Thursday, not a Friday, and it was just a mess. So this is really great, it's working out fine. So that's sort of that part. Now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Daniel, who has a very important thing to do this morning. If he can get up. So Sue, why don't you come on?
I will be very low.
This morning we have the pleasure of inducting a new member into our club, Mrs. Sue Frost. All club members have seen her application and noted Sue's impressive background. Sue Frost was overwhelmingly elected to the Board of Supervisors, District 4 in 2016. Prior to that, she served as mayor and city councilwoman in Citrus Heights. Before beginning her public service, Sue was a nursing and physical education student at Pacific Union College in Napa and specialized as an RN California certified emergency nurse. She has been a business owner for 34 years in the field of mortgage lending, consulting, and real estate investments. She is a joint owner of Frost Enterprises Incorporated, a full-service mortgage bank that was sold its operation and servicing to Syntex Homes and Mellon Bank, respectively. She is a real estate broker and a member of the Sacramento Association of Realtors. She was elected to the City Council of Citrus Heights in 2012, served as vice mayor and as mayor in 2015. On the council, she championed fiscal discipline, encouraged economic growth and job creation, community involvement, and public safety. On the Board of Supervisors, she has been a leading voice, again, for fiscal responsibility, public safety, and refocusing transportation spending for fixing existing roads. She created a unique work training program to help the homeless off the street and find self-reliant jobs. She has also led the effort to create the county's first Veterans Commission. Sue and Jack Frost have been married for 34 years. Sue, it's evident from your impressive record and your professional dedication to the community. You have done a great job and will be an addition to our club. From the vision of a young Chicago lawyer, Paul Harris, the Rotary Club of Chicago was founded in 1905. In a nutshell, it has blossomed from there. Always a grassroots, and at its core, Rotary has grown to over its 115 years to 1.2 million Rotarians and 35,000 clubs. All espouse the motto, service above self, and use the four-way test as a moral code for personal and professional relationships. Whether making strides to eradicate polio, sponsoring foreign exchange students, or working on local projects, Rotary is indeed a force for good deeds and goodwill. I encourage you to assimilate and get involved. Bob, would you please put a pin on our new member?
I'm going to socially distance this.
It's a dart.
This is being recorded, so.
Hey, Dave. Oh, there you go. You're good. Right in front of you. You're good.
We'll hug you later,
Yeah.
in a year or two.
So let's stand and say welcome.
Sue, with this affirmation of all the members, you are hereby inducted into the Rotary Club of Orangevale. At this moment, I'd like to invite you to say a few words to us.
Thank you, Brian. I just want you to know, Brian caught me at a moment. I've been a Rotary member in the past, and I somehow got caught up and got so busy, I decided to take a little leave of absence because I was sort of breathing through a fire hose when I got nominated to supervisor, and I didn't want to be a member of something that I couldn't be a good member. And so Brian asked me in that moment, in that time when I said, oh, I just don't have enough to do. I'm really so excited to be part of your group. I can't wait to kind of explore some of the things that you're doing. I want you to know that I had a lot of options and a lot of requests for Rotary groups that I would belong to. And I joined this group because I just feel at home here. And I think you're pretty special, all of you guys. So I'm looking forward to our work together, and I want to thank you for the warm welcome.
Yeah. That means means we're winners. So, yeah. So, those are the, do we have any other announcements? Don, do you have any this week? He usually has something to say.
Let's see here, what do I?
Wait,
You gotta do it.
wait, dude.
Who are you? Who are you? What, I have to get my glasses on first.
He has to
You don't know who
he has
you
to
are.
see who he
Come
is.
around and
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
Don Russell, I'm your club service chairman.
Hi, Don.
So, Dave, did you hear about the rumor about butter?
No.
Well, I'm not going to spread it. So we had a Halloween party. We had a great bonfire, and now we're looking forward to our next event. It's going to be on the 17th. That's a Tuesday. That'll be our next dine around, and I'm looking for suggestions where you'd like to go. If you'd like to go somewhere locally and meet, or if you'd like to do a Zoom meeting. And personally, I'd like to go somewhere locally. And that's all that I have right now. So let me know, either come up and tell me in person or send me a thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Don.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Where is the stuff? Oh, God. I forgot one thing about the being a new member thing. I don't know whether to go back or I'll just. I have the. It's in here somewhere. I instituted. Yeah, here.
We can add this video.
I was going to put this on a clipboard, and I forgot the clipboard, and then I forgot that I was going to do this. Anyway, as I mentioned last night when we were over there at Kano's, I have we're reinstituting, and Sean is doing a great job so far, getting this red badge checklist taken care of. Have you still got a few people that you need to have sign that thing?
Yeah, like two. I didn't bring it today, though.
Well, that's okay. But anyway, you see, so it's super close.
You don't have your paddle
So,
with you?
so Sue, if you can give us a second. So this is the red badge thing. It's a way of getting to know, make sure you've gotten to know everybody that's in the club. And then, of course, I forgot the roster. You have one? Thank you. So, this is a roster. It's got all the. You need to concern yourself with the members. This also has the what we call special people to us list, which is sort of like honorary members and that sort of thing. Don't have to worry about that. Well, not that you're not important. It's just that you're on that list, so that
Good recovery.
But most of these people don't come. We haven't seen some of them in years and so forth. So anyway, the idea is you need to get everybody to sign or initial this so that we know that you had a chance to actually introduce yourself and meet them. And then they will give you $1. And when you have the thing all filled out, you'll have however many dollars there are on this list. And if you will match that, that money will then go to the Rotary Foundation. And that'll begin your work towards a Paul Harris, which in your case probably has already started because you've been before, but it'll be added to that in that case. Okay, so, and then there's a couple of other things. One is to participate in one of our work projects when one comes along that we can actually do. When also attend a board meeting and be the prospector. You ready for that? And also make up at another meeting. So you can have that and then.
Does the prospector have to tell jokes?
No. Yeah, you'll see.
No, but it'll be funny if you really put your effort into it.
Anyway, so I'm sorry I didn't do that. So, okay, moving right, have a seat. Moving right. One of the things about our club is we are really organized.
And a little out of practice.
We is a big word, Bob.
So, what time is it? Oh, God. We do have a prospector. So come on up, Phyllis. We have a prospector hand somewhere.
I got it.
Got it, okay.
You don't have my sympathies when you have to do this. Yeah, imagine my shock and dismay when Mitch, who is not here, put $40 up for the pleasure of my standing here this morning. He was top on my revenge list, and he's not here. Followed closely.
Do unto others than leave.
Pardon?
That's called do unto others than leave.
Exactly. Oh, right, okay, very good. Well, I'll figure out something. But Rob and Dawn also contributed to what it took to get me up here. So they were then, numbers 2 and 3. However, Rob, thank you. You made me laugh so hard with that editing crack. I'm gonna let you off for that particular line, but I see that on this list that you got, Sue, there are anniversary dates and birthdays and that sort of thing, and so I'm scanning November. Well, Jim and Lori have birthdays in November, they're not here. So digging deeper, I see that Rob is the only one with a membership anniversary. So you could cough up $1 for that one.
I'm gonna put $20 in because I'm happy to be back here.
How are we doing with pins and badges? When you look around, are we all good to go on that? Yeah, okay, Jeff's coming around. It's different, it's been months since we've had to kind of, be mindful of that. All right, so now moving on. November, of course, I was motivated to look up what makes November special. And, whoops, I forgot something. Oh, well, actually, Jonathan, your table. What is the gemstone for November? Okay, no, nothing? No, okay, so.
Granite, that's my job.
Sorry, what?
Granite.
That's a rock.
Okay, $2 from each of those guys.
Michelle, he has no idea what it is.
Okay, Tommy, your table, gemstone for November.
It's not ruby, hold that.
Make more of a haul than I expected.
Zirconium.
All right, time's up.
Opal.
No. So $1 each, you at least made a decent try. Okay, from the room, anybody happen to know? It's Topaz.
I get 50 cents.
Okay, November is also, wait for it, Raisin Bread Month. So I dug out a Sunset recipe, Sunset Magazine recipe.
Audrey didn't make that, right?
And so it's fairly dense. It's all whole wheat, very healthy, one of those sorts of things. So this is up for auction. So, all right, so $1. Okay, $1 from Don. Anybody want that more than? All right, okay, 2 over there.
There's 3 in the corner.
Okay, shout it out.
3 in the corner.
5. What was that, Brad? 6 from Brad, thank you. Okay, going 1, 2, 3.
Raisin bread.
Oh, Jonathan, very nice. Okay.
Good bread.
Yay. Okay, yeah.
Whatever the next bid is.
21. Yeah, right. Well, coming up is Sweet Potato Awareness Month, so wait. All right, anything more? All right, thank you very much. Do we have any happy finds? Yeah.
Madam Prospector,
Yes.
I was selling raffle tickets this morning and some people didn't show me some love.
Oh,
Why are you happy about that?
Bill needs love.
Yeah.
That makes you happy?
Bill needs raffle love.
Craigslist. Oh, wait, no.
This month is my 38th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
So the list isn't updated?
All right. Any other happy finds? Sorry?
Not average.
I'm gonna have to recheck that list, I thought that from Lori. Okay, anyway,
Say what
yeah.
around Luther.
Our daughter and our son-in-law had their first grandchild on the 28th. Your little Mr. Maverick, he's an awesome little dude.
Oh, he's got a new grandson?
Yeah. He's actually on the West Coast. We actually get to see him.
Yay! Extra.
Any more happy finds over here with Mike?
Two things. One is that, our first phase of students are back in school. That's our moderate severe special education students began on Monday. They're back full time. One of the other things I wanted to say was that I walk every day and every other day I do Pasteur's track. And I came upon Pasteur's track and there were these two women who were cleaning the track. And and started talking to them and found out who they were. They were bus drivers that during our time were not working, so they volunteered to do various projects. And if you go over to the track, it is as clean as it's been in 20 years.
Wow.
Because they've scraped the entire track.
Get them an application.
Get them their numbers so they know when we're going out there to do our work too.
And so those are my two happy finds related to schools. I mean, that here were these bus drivers that were, were doing our track. Really impressive.
Very nice. Steve's got happy finds.
Oh, my daughter, after getting her RN license 2 years ago, started in Reno. Now she's working in Sutter General in the ICU with, unfortunately, COVID patients. Passed her BSN, so she's now
Awesome.
all done. So
As far as you know.
And we have something from Mr. Deary.
Yes, Bob. I am so happy to be a Rotary meeting that's not on. And where better to come to the Rotary Club of Orange? And I'm just amazed at what this club does and how together everybody is.
Okay,
one more. We do have
I am so glad to be back here and to see Eileen. I mean, we've come here and nice to get food. She's usually not here. Her brother's here, but yeah, great to be back.
All right, and with that, what's his name?
Is it happy fun and all?
Whatever you want.
How happy are you?
I just want to say I'm really happy because this week, I believe yesterday or today, 7 to 12, I just happen to be the chairman of the board for the Library Authority, and 7 to 12 of our community libraries are opening up this week. And the
Awesome.
libraries are a really important part of the community and the underserved. A lot of the people who don't have internet, they go there to study. It's a real important part of the community, so that's a really big deal and a happy day.
Great.
Yay!
On the library note, do you know anything about the construction in Orangevale Library, about how they're doing and when it might be complete and be able to reopen?
It's moving forward. I can tell you that we are so lucky that we got just under the wire, because if we hadn't done it, if we hadn't pushed and gotten it when we did, we would not have gotten it for years to come. And it's moving forward. They're building it out now. It's just a matter of when they're finished with that construction. But yes, and there will be a ribbon cutting, and hoping to invite the key people in the county that were so smart and helped me figure out how to fight that battle. It's going to be a really fun celebration.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing library. It's going to double in size.
Right. Yeah, and part of that is our contribution too. When they do have the grand opening, we're going to be giving them $4,000 to go towards one of their programs. We always give them about $2,000 a year anyway, just that. So the total they'll be getting from us this year is $6,000. So, and it's going to be great. So thank you for that. Well, we have a few minutes left. Since our, I don't know what.
You got food too.
There is food. Oh yeah, we didn't do the breakfast, did we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you'd like to get,
I'm gonna chew my arm off.
what we're doing now is, if you'd like to get, just for a couple of minutes, everybody, if you want to get something, our server up there is going to be putting stuff on plates for you and giving you the plate, because you can't legally do it by yourself. So, let's take, you got 5 minutes, it's called eating really, really fast. Get your food and then you can eat.
Yes, first.
Yeah, I know that.
Madam Prospector, take note.
Yes, first. That's not you.
That's
That's-
not
I just assumed. You know what happens.
So,
However, your
Bob,
husband.
Jack,
Yep.
lead us to the, and she'll explain how it all works, and then we will know and we can follow you. So everybody take a couple of minutes. You're not gonna eat? Okay. Well, you're on your own, Jack. Okay, everybody, get up there and get something, otherwise Audrey will feel like she has no purpose.
Oh, gosh.
Is it still, is it crowded at all, or a lot of people out there?
Very quiet. We went to the fire sign and just walked in and sat down around, that was Tuesday morning, or Wednesday morning.
Here's a dollar's worth of free advice.
The guys from Chambers.
Don't get any breakfast line before the Prospect Bar. Yeah. I'll save you a dollar.
You did?
To see all these
Breakfast
people.
cafe?
Yeah, really?
How much you make sure remember, man? It's been so long.
They did that.
Well, I'm trying to tell Phyllis.
Bar, and now fire sign.
Yeah,
I know the Swiss
Oh, yeah.
Or else he gets every one.
Well, you know that, and then that one house up where the trail to
So, Phyllis, you have to
that
take
finally got sold. So then he moved the trail rather than going through his little driveway thing. Someone cut the trail around the far right side. It says trail with an arrow, which was nice because prior to him getting somebody everyone going through, there wasn't a way around. So that's good.
Yes.
Is that your daughter's
Yes. Trail. Yep. Let's just do it next Friday or next Saturday. If that
We haven't done it how long. It's
I'll send you the stuff, but just,
I just don't have to remember. If mine is working or else.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But just announce it and get people thinking that you can build, have trash bags at the Rod Shack, and if they're open, or if I've got all the stuff.
Okay, yeah, just see what you have. Okay. All right, thank you.
I was gonna send you something last week, and so we should just.
I just need to come get the pickers out of your here too, so you don't have to deal with that.
So you guys in town tonight, or what's your strike? Tonight? Yeah. You gonna do dinner?
Could you do me a favor? Hand me a napkin so I don't like.
Hey, home.
Okay, that's fine. You wanna go out, or you wanna have
Whatever.
Yeah. Usually we go out on a Friday night, you know, the old town.
So if I get you
You know that one house that Chamberlain and Browse.
Right. Is that moving on? Got it all tried out? Down below Barbara's, that other street.
There's just 3 models going on. Maybe a single people selling it. Decide what it's you know, stuff. Really?
Because, I mean, when you first send it, everybody's saying the same thing. I'm like, well, yeah, duh.
Especially because it was just.
What the people
I think I mentioned that. They've kind
Okay.
I make these tomorrow. I don't know that. I do the exact same thing. I see it. Hey, I get a couple of those things like that. It's good. I like it.
Well,
We gotta do something different.
what were they running a board?
I'll let
Just get jumpy about it.
Everybody's afraid of
What's an oil change on a diesel?
what year is it?
Of course, we've got engineer services on the So the biggest one is they try to get you in HR. HR is saying you got
Do it according to but you need to, because otherwise it's like $12 million.
Well, I have a extended warranty. So. That is a few bucks.
Oh, no,
Maybe when I get to boot camp, well, if I can remember the end, I will. Oh, this is so nice. This is so nice.
People actually work on it. Got their look at it.
I was just trying to figure out how many people have moved up there permanently. Can you tell?
Okay, it looks like everybody's pretty much got their food. That's great. So
I know it's
try to eat quietly. And I'd like to introduce our program. Our speaker for this morning is someone who's not no stranger to our club, and we're always happy to have him with us. Our very own past district governor, Mr. I'm not going to bother with a long intro because we already know him, and I don't have one. So those are my reasons.
Steve?
Demotion. So, our very own past district governor, Mr. Bob Derry. Come on, Bob. I feel bad. I have my back to
It's
you.
okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We were just trying to.
Yeah, just keep your back to us, that's fine.
So,
We're okay. He looks good from the back too.
it's my best sign, right? I don't know if I can compete with Raisin Bread Month. But guess what else this month is? This is Foundation Month. And I was asked to come in and talk a little bit about the foundation. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you that I've put together a new presentation, which I've never done before. So I'm going to kind of use you as my guinea pigs to see if this works. And I would love your feedback on it. I truly would. So. Many of you know that the foundation is near and dear to my heart. I'm a major donor +3. I'm part of the Paul Harris Society. I am a part of the Bequest Society, and I truly believe in the Rotary Foundation. So what I'm going to be telling you today, I really believe comes from my heart. You know, we joined Rotary for many things. When I joined Rotary, and it's been 35 years ago, I joined Rotary for business. And when I joined for business, I thought, boy, I'm going to get a whole lot of business out of this. And that's, it's like, I found out later joining the TIP or something like that. I found out very quickly that Rotary in our day, vocational, was not something you talked about. And I was very close to quitting. But I formed friendships. And those friendships have become my lifelong friendships. And I see that here in this room. But along the way, I also found that the Rotary Foundation was a big. I got to move this up. It's in the wrong part of my bifocals here. So.
You won't put it on the floor? Will that help?
No, but it's a major part. And I'd like each of you to think as to why do you give to the Rotary Foundation? I give the Rotary Foundation. Is it because maybe it's every Rotarian every year? Every one of your members gives something to the foundation. You know, when I first joined Rotary, they basically had to twist my arm to give $100 to the foundation. I had no idea what the foundation was. Nobody told me what the foundation is. It's just a fact that you gave to the foundation, and everybody in our club's going to give to it, so you're going to give too. Or is because there's great projects that are done throughout the world to make this world a better place. Or possibly, is it about ending polio now? You know, for the last 30 plus years, we've been working to end polio. We've developed partnerships with UNICEF, with the Gates Foundation, with the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization. And I was just on a webinar with a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. And Rotary is a complete partner with these organizations. Not only in eradicating polio, but what we have done in eradicating polio is now being used in eradicating COVID throughout the world. The links that we have put together. So, but it isn't about polio. Well, you know, I remember Sabin. I remember Salk. I remember as a kid going to a public swimming pool and not having that swimming pool open because they were afraid that we would contract polio in the water. I remember standing in line for the sugar cubes, for the shots. I do remember polio. Probably a lot of people in this room don't remember the 50s when this happened. But that's a big part of why I give the Polio Foundation too.
Or is it because 92% of the funds that are donated to the Rotary Foundation go for their intended purpose and go out towards people who need help to make their lives better? You know, for the last 12 years, it says 10 up there, but for the last 12 years, the Rotary Foundation has been given a 4-star rating by Charity Navigator. That is a charity, an organization that rates all of the charities of the world. And very few get a 4-star rating. That is the top rating. And for the last 5 years, they have received 100% by Charity Navigator. Only a handful of charities in the United States get that. Yes, probably it is a bunch of these things. But it also is because I've seen firsthand what Rotary does to make a difference in this world. I give because about 13 years ago, I went on a wheelchair distribution to Peru. And as we were delivering wheelchairs one day to a number of people who had never seen a wheelchair in their life and needed them, a car drove up, had about 6 or 7 people in it. It was I used it as an old Toyota. 6, 7, 8 people. They were just stacked in there. And in the center seat in the back was a young man who was here to get his wheelchair. Well, my job this day was to help these people get into a wheelchair. We took them back to where they would get their new one, specially designed for them. And then they helped them get back in the car. So I didn't see all the hoopla when people got wheelchairs, when they got their pictures taken and all like that. So I was there doing my job, and maybe about 10, 15 minutes later, this young man came back with his family. He was in his bright new red wheelchair. And he stopped his family. And he rolled up to me and he put his arms, I get chills whenever I say this story. He put his arms around my knees. And he said, "Gracias, Senor, gracias." And he said some other words in Spanish, which I did not understand, but he had his sister there who did speak. And she said to me, she said, "Senor, my son is so grateful that you came here all the way from America just to give him this wheelchair." You see, for the first time in his life, tonight, he will be able to go outside by himself without someone carrying him outside, and he will be able to see the moon and the stars. And tomorrow morning, he will be able to go outside by himself and see the sun. You see, when this happened, I knew I made a difference in one life, even though it just wasn't me. About 6 years ago, I went to Zambia. And I went with a group, and we were on a vacation type trip. We did the vacation things you would do when you go to Africa. But we did a lot of work in a school they had a Rotary grant. We helped paint it. We built desks, because most of the kids did not have desks at this school. They had maybe 10 desks for a class of 40. So we helped it so these kids could maybe sit at their own desk, not on the floor, and be able to get an education. I also have met people who have really made a difference in the world. This is Deepa Biswas. Deepa was past district governor in the San Ynez Valley a couple years before I was. Deepa was born in India, and she was lucky enough to come over here to the United States to get an education, because her family had the money to be able to do that. But where she came from, most girls do not get an education. In fact, most girls are married off 12, 13, 14 years old to somebody 20, 30 years older than they are by their parents just because they can't afford to have them around and be able to feed them. Her dream was to build a school over there where women could get an education. She did build this school. She did it with a Rotary grant. And I support this school every year today. I've also met Carol Van Bruggen. She's a member of the Point West Rotary Club. I don't know how many of you people know Carol Van Bruggen. She and her husband were on vacation in Zambia, and she's the one who took me to Zambia, the trip we just talked about. But she was on a trip to Zambia, and as they got off the plane, she saw a flyer about an organization that was trying to save the animals in Zambia. You see, poachers are very big. The salary of people is not very much in this village. And when someone comes up to you and says, I will give you $100 if you will go kill an elephant and bring the ivory to me, that's something that people do on a regularity. Well, this organization goes out into the wild, into the jungles, and tries to find the poachers, finds the snares, finds whatever. She loved that so much that she said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And during that time, she found this school that I was at. It was a one classroom school. They didn't have teachers. Parents were the ones who were teaching them, because in Zambia, teachers come from the government, and you have to have at least a large enough school for the government to say, hey, we will send you some teachers. So through the Rotary Club of Point West and through a global grant, they built onto this school and made enough classrooms to where that is the #1 school in this area today. This came from a Rotary grant. I've met, and I'm going to have to look at his name because I can't spell it. Benson Kiyambo. Benson is from Zambia also, but you see him. He's getting the World Humanitarian Award from Prince William here. He was given this award because he leads the people out into the jungle, and they're out there for 2-3 weeks at a time, trying to save the animals that are out there. Anybody who knows in England knows that Princess Diana was very much into saving the animals, and Prince William has made this one of his missions also. This gentleman is just phenomenal as what he does. You know, also I've seen the projects funded by the Rotary Foundation. Meet Stasha Malcolm. I think Bill probably knows who Stasha is. Stasha was a young lady, graduated from Oroville High School. She was accepted to Stanford University. But at the time she was off to go off to college, her father got very sick. He had a heart attack, and she decided that she needed to stay close to home to get her education. So she stayed and got her education from Cal State Chico. Well, Stasha had a dream. Her dream is she wanted to go to Thailand and get her master's degree. You see, our district has a global grant for scholarships. She came to us, and I think Bill will agree with me that her pedigree was not even close to the other candidates that we had. But here was a young lady who told us her story, and we all agreed this is the person we need to give this scholarship to because she deserves it. She is humanitarian. Well, we funded 1 year of her scholarship over to Shanghai University in Thailand. And everybody was so taken by this young lady that the Rotary Club of Oroville Sunrise put together a second global grant and gave it her second year of education. And she was able to graduate, get her master's degree over there. And I'm proud to say that she still lives in Thailand, in Bangkok. She's working for a school right now, and she wants to teach kids and give them the chance that she had. I've seen the projects here just in our community. This is a mobile command unit that the Rotary Clubs of East Sacramento, Point West, Sacramento, Pocket Greenhaven, and now Roseville have all put into through a district grant. The money that comes back here that you can use for your projects. You see, these clubs were talking to the police chaplains one day, and the chaplains are in all of Sacramento County. They go around to various areas where something drastic is happening. It could be a drowning. It could be where the SWAT team is. It could be anything that happens in our communities where chaplains need to be talking to people and helping them cope with whatever is happening. But they had a pop-up, and they were out there putting their pop-up up and talking. And when we talked to them, they said the one thing we need is a private place we can take. And we said, well, what about a motorhome? And this motorhome was purchased. As you can see, it has Rotary all over it. But now, whenever they go out to a place of need in our community, this motorhome is what goes out to help those in need. I also believe in the power of Rotary. I think most of us in the room know what Shelter Box is. Most of us in the room have probably met Bill Tobin. I'm sure Bill's been here a number of times to talk about Shelter Box. You see, this is an organization that came out of a Rotary project. There was a need for housing for people who were in a tragedy in their country, a typhoon, a hurricane, an earthquake, whatever, where the housing was gone. And they developed the Shelter Box, a tent, supplies, and now they are going all over the world. Bill Tobin's one of my heroes by what he does. I believe in the power of Rotary. Pace Universal, now probably something you haven't heard of, but this is the school I was talking about in Zambia, in India, that Deepa Biswas started. See, I've been supportive of this ever since I heard her talk about 10 years ago. And I had a young lady who I started supporting $350 a year for an education. Name was Supriya. Supriya, I started supporting maybe about the 4th or 5th grade. Very smart. I got a letter every year saying thank you, this is what I'm doing. But Supriya wanted to be a doctor. You know, women in India don't become doctors very often. But because of this organization, a lady who was a surgeon in the San Ynez Valley happened to go over and visit her found out how good she was, and said, I would like to support you through your education. Supriya now is going to a university here in the United States, and her dream of becoming a doctor is real. All by what happened with the Rotary Foundation. I think many of you know who this person is, Brian Gladden. Many of you know that Brian and I put together a global grant here in Sacramento. We raised close to $400,000 to basically combat human trafficking in our own backyard. I'm very proud to say that we had an outreach campaign back 2 years ago. And no, we don't know how many people we totally hit, but we know we had 78 million impressions, people who saw what we put out there on the streets to combat human trafficking. We also, and Ann knows this because she's worked very hard on this over at Paso Roble. Yes, and Casa Roble. And before COVID hit, we had educated over 51,000 students in the greater Sacramento area on the ills of human trafficking and how they needed to stay away from various things that were causing it in our own backyard. You see, human trafficking is the number 3 crime in the world right now. Only drugs and guns. And because we don't have very good numbers, the numbers are starting to come up. But I'm very proud of Brian Gladden. Brian's also one of my heroes. I need to read this because I don't have this part memorized. More importantly, the Rotary Foundation is about our countless beneficiaries around the globe in our communities. It's about a little girl named Sophia from a poor Mayan village in Guatemala. You know, Sophia followed Rotarians around for 3 days as they were building a new water system and sanitation system in her village. Her mother thanked the Rotarians profusely, and this was from a global grant, profusely, because she was so happy that now, because of the clean water she was going to have in her home, she could clean the fruits and vegetables, and her kids will be safe from disease that they've always had. As Sophie looks in your eyes, think about where your dollars go. Think about what they do. Because Sophie is hoping someday, somewhere, you'll develop a project that makes a difference in somebody's life, just like you made a difference in her life. The Rotary Foundation does make dreams real. I'm a Rotarian. The Rotary Foundation means a lot to me, and I truly believe it makes a difference. Thank you very much. Bill, go ahead.
Someone asked me last month, why do we want to become a Paul Harris Fellow? And if you don't understand the answer to that question after listening to Bob and seeing his presentation, I'll talk to you and answer your question offline afterwards. But thank you for providing a very eloquent answer to that. And right now, any donations made to the Rotary Foundation the club is matching your donations 3-1. So it's the time to do it. Thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, 92% of those dollars, the $3 to $1, go to where the money needs to go. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, in regards to polio, that I believe everyone is really behind polio. I've heard on National Public Radio because of COVID and the worldwide pandemic, there's been a lot more cases in the world with polio. Could you please talk about that a little bit?
There are a lot more cases, and I believe we're over 100 cases this year. And when we say a lot more, you know, we were down to 10, 20 cases last couple of years. But again, those cases are in Afghanistan and in Pakistan. There was a good time, and I think it's changing. Although, let's go. I didn't say it very well, but COVID basically stopped the immunizations.
Exactly.
The COVID basically stopped the immunizations of polio. But the boots on the ground, the infrastructure that Rotary has put together, it basically turned full circle. And they are working with the World Health Organization, they're working with UNICEF, they're working with the Center for Disease Control. And our basically infrastructure they've put together, they're using that to combat COVID right now. Once we get COVID under it, that will come back. Polio will come back, but we're still 2 to 1. The Gates Foundation is matching every dollar for polio 2 to 1, up to $50 million. And I'm going to have to tell you, Rotarians at the end of last year stepped up big the last month because they were way behind. And you know, say we're $10 million short. You know, that means $30 million that doesn't go into the eradication of polio, because we would like to get the money. So we just had polio month. We just had polio day here on the 24th of October. You know.
Well, most of us in the room are old enough to have had a relative that has had polio, and I had my favorite uncle had beaten polio and had even beaten World War II in a hideous battle, but when he got to be almost 80, the polio came back on him, and that's pretty common.
It was common, and you know, but there's a lot of talk. Why are we still combating polio? Well, if we don't combat it and get rid of it, it will come back, and it will come back into the United States if we're not immunized.
It's a small world.
Bill?
We have over 50% of our club are members of the Polio Plus Society, so we had very good response on that.
Fantastic, good.
Don't leave yet. We'll figure this out eventually. Okay, was the photographer ready?
David Shepard.
I guess he was not ready.
No, I was getting ready. I was making sure it was perfect.
Well, we want to thank you. You get your very own, made by a member of our club, made this especially for you. And so
You get a bob.
yeah, sure. You gotta aim it. I gotta Okay, well that was great. Very, very nicely done. And isn't it nice to all be here to listen to this together like this, as opposed to sitting in our bedroom or hall, wherever, watching a Zoom thing.
The only thing missing is chili killies.
Is what?
Chili killies.
I don't know what that is.
That's the tomato sauce with the chips for breakfast.
Okay, we have a raffle. We need somebody to pick a thing. We're looking for an honest person. Oh, here, would you?
There you go.
No.
Thank you. I always wanted to be a comedian. Okay, the number is 7524.
Yes!
588. Phyllis Price.
Almost 500.
Okay, Phyllis. Come on out here in front so we can see. Okay. Now, there are, again, we had a winner last week. You know, it was the first time we did it, and he won the thing. He didn't win a whole. Yeah, but
Is there
anyway,
one
so
ball in there?
There's 10 balls. 10 balls. One of them is an orange ball. Okay, so, and I don't know how much money is in the pot because it's in my pocket and I haven't counted it.
Wait, what do you mean it's in your pocket?
Well, the treasurer is not here today. Don't worry, I'll see that he gets it. Okay, here we go.
I've got it right here.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. More next week.
Thank you, Phyllis.
It was $46 for your benefit, Bob.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I just.
Is that after splitting half?
You got the money for the process.
I just told him, that's
Okay.
$46 there. I haven't.
For a parting thought today, I found this from Anne Frank, the famous Anne Frank. She said, "No one has ever become poor by giving." And that's sort of what we were talking about today. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Bob and Jack, we're great to have you with us. We're very happy to have you as an actual member. She has to pay for her breakfast now. And I think, you know, I have this agenda that I sort of fill out every week, and I need to have breakfast in here. I'll put that in for next week so I won't forget to do that. It's the first time I've had the opportunity. So, anyway, thanks again for everybody for coming. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Eileen.
Some of us may need to kind of help clear out this place. I don't even know. So, I'm sorry, yes?
FYI Food Bank.
Oh yes, Food Bank. For those of you who signed up or said you're available, that's great. 9 o'clock over there, and we'll. I guess they've been real busy. this
Yes,
week.
they
Real
have.
busy. So, anyway, thanks everybody. See you next time.
Hey!